You're back for episode 15 of the challenge series. How appropriate that the 15 cars on the screen. If you hear a very quiet fan in the background, it is 89 degrees here right now, and Minnesotans like myself are not really equipped to deal with that, so I need something. I have it on the lowest setting. It's barely doing anything. At this point, it may as well be off. But we have Clubman Cup Plus on this episode. It's like the same thing from yesterday. Actually, kinda. Well, last episode, except instead of 600, it's 640 cars. So let's just jump into it. You're green for the first race of Clubman Cup Plus. Comes to you from Brands Hatch, another mainstay of the challenge series, even in the Assetto Corsa days. And that's not a lot of space for Nitori Kawashiro, who, despite being one of the three main characters, I guess administrators of the challenge series, it's taken almost 15 episodes for her to actually be played as in a race, I believe. Okay. Midori getting no love from the Muse girls right about now, and she's not giving much back either. Of course, it wouldn't be anywhere in the United Kingdom if there wasn't moisture in the air, so it is very foggy. Well, the game calls it mist. This is fog. I don't care. There's not even a full lap in the books. Nitori's already up through half of the field. A bit of grass. Valentine seems to just get out of Nitori's way. As we head up into the last turn. And Nitori clears him for 9th. Nitori, I'm gonna probably mess that up a few times. Into 1, ahead of Maki. Terrible exit for Hanamura, so Nitori takes advantage of that. Gives Tyler a bit of a nudge. And four-wheel drive exit go Burr. They were almost 3, but Tyler decided against trying to go on the outside. Probably because this isn't really a corner where you can do that. And he probably figured he'd just be able to get her on the next straightaway anyhow, so why even risk it? Kugasa attempting to, half-heartedly defend from Nitori. But her line makes her incredibly loose on exit. They touch, but Nitori just drives away anyway. Almost unfazed. This time, no grass. It's only Thrasher, Jingwei, and Kyozo Kitano left on Nitori's path towards conquest. Easily smokes Thrasher. Nitori will obviously find a lot of her success on a corner exit rather than entry. She's able to get on the gas way sooner. And although she doesn't have the most power, she's able to use all of it at almost all times. We're on the outside of Kitano, not quite clear. He fights back on the inside, but it's a superior acceleration from that four-wheel drive system. And Nitori, 2.5 laps into the race, is the leader. Kyozo with no answer. Meanwhile, Maki continues to push her way through the field. Filling up the mirrors of Tyler up ahead. And he's starting to notice the pressure. He's making slight errors like that. Honoka on a much less rapid pace is doing the same as is Kotori. All over the back bumper of Emi. As we head on to the final lap of the race. Whoa. Everyone's a little bit out of control through the last turn. First turn, where am I on the track? Are we doing it in reverse, Riker? Tyler's horsepower is keeping him ahead of Maki, if nothing else. His oversteer certainly isn't. Maki just caught him sleeping on the outside lane. It's going to be a drag race, but I feel like Kogasa may get into the way of somebody here. The drag race continues, but Maki on the inside of the corner is going to make the pass. More sliding. But Tyler doesn't choose to respond. Just about uncontested once she got to the lead. Nitori Kawashiro will head out of the last turn and take the victory at Brands Hatch. Kyozo Kitano and Zhao Jingwei will finish off the podium. Maki comes from the bottom half, or the bottom 5 on the grid to finish P6. And only Honoka will join her in the top half of the field. So I shall now have to do the points, and we'll see you at the beginning of the second round. Race 2 from Interlagos is green, and it is very early in the morning. I think it's 5 a.m. local time, if I'm not mistaken. So we're basically going off of lighting here, and turn 1 is just always a mess. Well, 1, 2, and 3, I should say. The camera car here is Reiko Mishima in her 300ZX. Finds enough real estate there to squeeze between Gina and Ellie. Or Eli, as some people mistakenly call her. Just because it looks like that. She is not a guy. So they'll filter through into the slow section. Reiko tries to force herself beneath Umi's car, but can't really do that. With 3 wide behind her, Ellie the loser in that. Zhao definitely won that engagement. Checking the previous winner. She's currently not that car. She's currently 8th, so kind of maintaining the status quo. However, none of the cars ahead of her really finished close to her before either, except for Thrasher, who's running 2nd place. May very well be the net points leader at the moment, if we were to just end the race now, but We're not doing that. We're not even halfway through the race. 1 lap in the books. 1 lap and change. Mishima already up into the top 10. Looking for bonus points. Sneak to the inside of both Nitori and Nozomi. Nitori is not having the same kind of pace that she just demonstrated at Brands Hatch. She is gonna, well, she attempts to send it on Nozomi, gets a little bit of assistance from Honoka, and actually just runs the Mustang off of the track a little bit. Marco sends it down the inside of Axel. We're gonna be maybe 3 wide into this hairpin. And with the inside lane and not being in a muscle car, Mishima outmaneuvers the pair of Axel and Tyler to grab 5th place and leave them continue to battle behind her. So Tyler's been absolutely mugged through that section. He's lost 2 places in a couple of corners. And Mishima is already pretty much on the doorstep of the 4th place car, Kotori. Early morning sunrise is pretty, but don't want it to distract you. As Mishima just out-drags Minami in a straight line with just no resistance. Now down the inside of Maki, well clear before we even got to the breaking point. Somehow I missed Mishima going around Thrasher. I don't know how I managed to do that. It's just a drag race into turn 4 and Mishima braver under the braking. Grabbed the spot away. It wasn't really much worth looking back for, if I'm perfectly honest. Now gets a huge exit run on Nico. And is clear? Yes. So in about the same amount of time it took Nitori to take the lead, Reiko Mishima is now the leader here at Interlagos, and Nico seems to already be in defense mode. She doesn't even seem phased about taking back the lead. She seems more focused on making sure she doesn't lose any more spots. Valentine is slowly creeping up on this 2nd through 4th place train. Now Tyler is beginning to fall back into the other 13 cars behind. Honoka down the inside of Hanamura, and they make contact. I know, despite being fans of Muse, Kazuma and Reiko don't really have a whole lot of appreciation for these idols. Mainly because they believe that they're impersonators, since they know that Muse disbanded 6 years ago. And they'd be right, that is, as a matter of fact, what happened. It's just the matter that, you know, they remained friends after they disbanded. They were just done making music and performing. Thrasher going for the lead. Superior Mustang horsepower. And Nico just about slots in behind, and Maki is all over the road. Kotori wanted to try and force that, but doesn't. Probably wise. More sliding, almost chops Kotori's front end. Kotori goes down the inside of Maki, having seen enough oversteered moments from her. Maki is pulling a Ridge Racer to try and stay ahead of her friend. Huge traction out of that corner for Kotori. No traction out of that corner for Maki, but she still managed to slide her way ahead. So brilliant defense from the 308 despite the car's traction woes to stay in 4th place. And there'll be a rave downtown tonight as Reiko Mishima heads up to the line to take the victory here at Interlagos. Thrasher P2, Nico P3, and that was about to get very hairy into turn 1 if there were another lap. As Axel Valentine enters the picture at the last second and steals 5th from Kotori. If she had stayed behind Maki, that may not have happened. But they lost a lot of time trying to combat for 4th. No idea with points and the random gas that I'm getting. I'll see you for the start of race 3. And we are green for race 3. We once again come back to Laguna Seca for more or less a sprint race, because it's the same number of laps as the race in the last championship was. And insert fan service joke here. Thrasher's the character of focus as he's almost getting turned by Gina on his way into T1. I am itching. And it's, I say it's slow and methodical. No, he's already up to 11th, and we haven't even gotten through the first half of the lap yet, so... Thrasher has been turned in upon by Haneo. That weird turning from the Renault driver allows her to be passed by Nico. But Haneo shoots her on the outside of the kink, which is kind of weird to do, and gets the spot back. Blocked off by Honoka as Thrasher, but he does not care. He gets down the inside of her anyway. Is squeezed almost into the sand by Emmy. He's just not having the cleanest race. He's just not being given much real estate. He's just now unstable. Despite the instability, still grabs 7th place. And after 1 lap, he's already in P7. Also after 1 lap, the front row was Nozomi and Axel, but Maki and Nitori have already passed the pair. Kotori once again blessed by the starting grid gods with another top half start. I think she started like 4th, 5th, or 6th, somewhere around there in every race so far. Thrasher on the outside of Tyler through turn 3. That's turn 2. Random crickets. Kotori defends into the kink. Thrasher again doesn't care. And gets Axel Valentine for good measure. It's the Mustang. It's the Mustang parade. Nozomi followed by Thrasher, followed by Axel, and Midori and Kotori are surrounded by Tories. And Maki is quite a ways up the road already. Outside again. Sends it on Nitori. Years of Gran Turismo 2 and 4 are definitely paying off right now. That's exactly how you gotta make passes in those games too. Just pass people in the weirdest places because you can't really pass the AI in most normal places on Gran Turismo games. Here you can usually get away with normal overtakes, but not always. Sometimes you have to do it the weird way. I was about to say now to catch Maki. He's already done that. Now he just has to pass her. And that wasn't too hard. Although Maki gives Thrasher a nudge going into the corner, he seemed to almost be ready for that, as he barely even left his line. And once again, about 2.5 laps in, Thrasher is the new leader and is driving away with it. I'm detecting a pattern. It's a battle of the Mustangs. Axel passes Nozomi, and the Mustang's able to roam freely, which makes it sound like I'm talking about the animal. Without threat of Alice in Chains anywhere nearby, they can now race without fear of being sent to the Shadow Realm. I almost said the Sky Realm. That's not it. That's not the line. This result will almost no doubt have Thrasher in the points lead, exiting this race, even with Maki being consistently near the front in this championship. Same with Kotori. She's always been in the upper middle section, again that 4th through 6th range. And she's looking at stealing a podium from Nitori here if she can find the space. Final lap, obviously. This could maybe have been a 5-lap race, but it's hard to say for sure. Admittedly, with how spread out everything is, I don't think a 4-lap race was necessary. 4 seems long enough, considering the results seem almost pretty much preordained, not premeditated. That's one thing to bring up. Reen got her vehicle redesigned. It's not much of a redesign, but gained a new sponsor, two new sponsors actually, and she fixed her number and fixed her license plate sponsor. She's not one of very few drivers who has a license plate sponsor. And then Pacific Coast Radio and Brighton Antiques also endorsed the Camaro driver. So she was able to rearrange the Chevrolet logo on the door to accommodate. Gina is fixing to come in last 2 races in a row. And breaking into the last turn, Thrasher is here to show these foreigners how it's done, as he adds yet another Laguna Seca win to his arsenal. Arsenal? The resume, as it were. By lack of synonym concepts, not good. Maki and Nitori finish off the podium. Axel gives Kotori a GG bump post-race for some reason. That was a train and a half. Okay, game. Alright, no more scrolling. There we go. I'm like, when did I end this race? And as Laguna Seca event number 160 comes to a close, she'll do up the points tallies and reconvene ahead of round 4 with the update. We're here ahead of the start of race 4, and oh my god, it is raining a lot. We might have missed the rainstorm by a few moments the last time, but we didn't miss it this time. At all. You can't even barely see Mount Fuji in the distance there. As a quick overview of the points heading into the 4th round here at Fuji. Points leader is Thrasher at 56. Mind you, the most you could have possibly scored up to this point is 60. He's missed 4 points. Maki is second in points at 51. Still clearly riding momentum from her Dream Car Championship victory at 51 points out of 60. Third, Nitori at 47. Then it's Axel with 44. Tori at 42. Tyler McIntosh at 41. Honoka and Zhou Jingwei tied at 38. Nozomi at 35. Reiko Mishima at 32. Kyozo Katano at 31. Kazuma Hanamura at 30. Nico at 27. Emi Barzaki at 25. Kogasa at 24, Hanyo at 21, Umi 18, Marine and Ellie tied with 11, and Gina last in points at 8. Well, she said you're allowed to race how you want to race, and apparently Gina is choosing to race slowly. And on that sick roast, and on to race 4. You're green from the incredibly rainy Fuji Speedway, and from what I could tell on the forecast, the rain is only going to get worse as the race goes on, so this will be something. Emmy is not prepared for the difference in braking distance and just plows her way into T1. Already ahead of 2 Mustangs. The game tries to show us this vista, but you can barely even see the mountain in the background through all the rain. And here's the visibility right now. This isn't even a high-speed part of the track. As the speed picks up, so too will the spray effect. And I didn't even mention that, yes, the onboard car is Emi Ibarazaki in the Integra. Front-wheel drive is... well, at least it's not rear-wheel drive when it comes to rain. It's not great, but it's not rear-wheel drive. As you can just hear the tires just suffering. Hydroplaning galore. Car being unresponsive at best. Emi does not care and just throws it onto the inside of several cars and makes up several places, including one more on Nozomi potentially. If she can get the car turned for the last corner, which she just about does. Just about. And once again, Nidori has put all of her stock in the rain pouring down on the circuit. And she's on intermediate tires, and she's probably enjoying life to the fullest right now. Because everybody else is stuck on not that, and they're not enjoying much of anything. Certainly not enjoying much grip. Maki in particular is probably really kicking the air right now with her comfort mediums. Don't think those are super good in the rain. Alright, well, the game had a meltdown and crashed on me, so we are now back to where it was when it decided to do that, for no obvious reason. Like, I wasn't exactly toggling through the cars that fast, so I'm just puzzled. Emi easily sweeps on the outside of Kyozo Kitano. He's on comfort tires, he's not really going to have a whole lot of grip here. Umi won't have much either, she'll have slightly more being on 4-wheel drive. She has the grip, she doesn't have the nerves, though, so Emi will eventually prove victorious, as Emi... I don't think she knows what nerves are. As she's invaded the... not quite lead group. Basically the leaders of people who weren't prepared for the rain. If I didn't know any better, I would think Hidori created the rain. A power she had in her home world, not here. But she still knows how to deal with the rain. And it is just buckets now. It is just raining buckets. At this point, if Nidori has access to heavy wet, she might want those, but I don't think she does. And that'd hardly be fair. Nobody else even has intermediates. Again, Nico with a small advantage. Pun not intended. Me with a small sneeze that just came out of absolutely nowhere. She has the sole advantage of being four-wheel drive. Nitori also has that advantage, and I think Emmy is weaving down the straightaway to try and find where the standing water isn't at. Even with the better tires, Nitori is still driving relatively cautiously. Better tires, four-wheel drive, Papa John's, wait. Better tires, better drivetrain, Papa John's. Emmy is not driving cautiously at all. She's driving like the rain's not even there. She's like full throttle, anywhere she can be. Sure, she may have a literal lead foot, but like, there's still a certain point where you don't do that. Tyler's got comfort mediums and an old muscle car. Same with Thrasher, same with Axel. Gina's on softs. Nozomi is on sports hard. She doesn't really have an excuse. You can clearly see the comforts are not it. Nozomi also got a slight redesign to her car. She got this gold trim around her chrome parts with vehicle chrome bumpers, the window trim, and the front end I think as well, yeah. Same as how Kogasa has hers, except all of her trimmings are light blue. Meanwhile, as the fortunate ones, that being Nitori and Emmy, begin the final lap, and Tyler is barely even in the final sector at all. Nitori might just be breaking the record for largest margin to victory here. She's got the whole second straightaway on Emmy, and if we ignore Emmy, Nico in third place is breaking for one. Nitori is facing the mountain in the middle of turn 4. She's able to put down such an unfeasible amount of power. Emmy is also doing that, but it's not necessarily advisable. But Nitori doesn't even look like she's lacking traction. If anything, she looks like she could use more power. If she had any more to use. The rain actually let up a little bit towards the end of the race. Didn't help much. But it was still raining, so the puddles didn't go away. I think I just saw Emmy pull the e-brake to try and make this corner. That's a new one. And by a pretty large margin, the margin was definitely cut down a lot. I think Nitori got complacent. Another lap in the race maybe would have been a threat, but instead Nitori takes the win at Fuji by several seconds. Emi takes the fastest lap and cuts into that lead by a huge amount, but not quite enough. If the rain had been able, if we had, as I said, a fifth lap, let the rain dry up a tiny bit more, because the rain has now stopped, maybe Emi would have had a chance at the win. However, instead, only second place, but second place by like half the track over Nico and the rest of the Love Life crew in the middle of that field there. The power of four-wheel drive is best demonstrated with Umi placing in 6th. Yes, 6th, that can count. Finishing 6th place on comfort tires. How? Simply because she had four-wheel drive at her disposal. But you can see from the panning shots, the rain is gone. So, anywho, I shall do points, and then we will head into the final round at Tokyo Expressway. Alright, we have arrived at the final round of the championship. It is Tokyo Expressway. I don't remember the full name. But it's the south layout, south counterclockwise, I think this would be. It's the shorter south layout, so instead of going down to the docks, we have the Death Chicane. That isn't at, the other Death Chicane, not the one at Dragon Trail. And as we take an overview of the points, Nitori has gained a huge shift in her favor. Hugely shifted the balance in her favor after her second win of the championship at Fuji. 67 points. Second place is Kotori with 59. So literally, if she just got like a... let's see. How would that work? If she gets 9th place or better in this race, she's automatically won the championship. It doesn't matter where Kotori finishes. Thrasher, with a terrible race in the last race. 3rd at 58. Maki, same story, not great either. 4th at 57. Honoka with 54. Tie for 6th between Zhou Jingwei and Axel Valentine at 47. Tyler, Kyozo, and Nico all tied for 8th at 45. Emi with 44. Nozomi and Mishima tied at 42. Kazuma Hanamura at 38. Haneo at 34. Umi, 33. For reference, nearly half of those 33 came from the last round alone. Kogasa, 28. Ellie, 23. Rin, 22. Literally half of her points came from the last race. And Gina last still with 13. As the camera loses focus, let us head into the final round. You're green from the final round. Nitori aggressively changing lanes off the grid. I saw that. Four-wheel drive launch, not to be outdone by Thrasher's horsepower going into T1. And that is basically the points battle picture right there. If you ignore the NSX in the shot, those three are more or less the ones battling for this championship. Along with Maki, who's starting last and is therefore the car of focus in this race. She's getting absolutely squeezed by Haneo. Ah! There we go. Here's some metal clattering back there. Cuts me off a tiny bit, not much. Oh god! Gina was not aware that Maki was there. nearing the death chicane now. Maki aggressive down the inside of Tyler, but slides up the track, nearly running Tyler out of space. And, oh, okay, you better think twice on that. She will slightly nudge Zhou ahead, allowing them both to take the place away from Kogasa. Then she goes down the inside herself, and up to P7. With a corner exit like that, might even be P6 at the line. P5 at the line, I'm sorry. I've been told Maki's been getting a little bit of a reputation for aggressive driving. Which is weird, because I could have sworn she was a little more timid and socially awkward. But behind the wheel, oh my god, Ridge Racer manages to keep that car straight. Maybe. The Ferrari is making some arguments towards her driving style. Maybe they've got a point. If Maki's stepping out like that, that doesn't just happen unless you're, you know, driving fast, driving hard. I mean, obviously you're driving hard if you're in a race, but not that much. Because Mishima is no better for it, as she also gets a bit of oversteer there. That's not the widest part of the circuit there. Oh, right into the back end of Thrasher. Huge contact. Thrasher doesn't seem much worse off for it, though. But might be giving her the bird, and I don't mean Kotori out the window right about now. It is only a 3-lap race to decide the champion here. I believe the 3 laps were slated to be for a different layout that was changed last second. I think it was meant to actually be the other south route that takes us through the dockyards. And doesn't take us through the death chicane. My gosh, Maki. I hope you know what you're doing in there. Mitsuri doesn't really have to do anything. She just stays here. She's the champion. Can't say do esto! Honoka gets a bit slidey too. And now she's got Maki filling her mirrors. Yeah? Did you think you'd get room there? Okay, now let's just Honoka walking. Okay. More sliding continues. As we head to the last 3 corners, 3.5 corners on the circuit. Maki sends it on Honoka, pushes her aside. That's not going to be popular. Oh my god! Yeah, the rumors are founded. What the hell was that? Well, okay, so I guess Maki wins the freaking race? That seemed oddly out of character. Let's make sure I saw that right. Reminder, these girls have been friends for 7 years. And Maki just did that to one of them. Kotori even went defensive. And it didn't help. She did well to keep the car pointed straight. She still maintains second place, but... I mean, she already had it, but that gives Midoriya the championship with her 7th place result. And she will have just scored more points than Kotori could make up, and I believe more points than Thrasher made up either. We'll just have to do the math, and we shall learn in well, for you, about 5 seconds. For me, about 3 minutes. Now, the results are official. Nitori Kawashiro is your Clubman Cup Plus champion at 81 points, taking it by 3 over Kotori, 78. I think in terms of consistency in a vacuum, Kotori probably had the best best run, I guess, as her lowest finish was 10, or was still a place above Nitori. Her lowest point was never as low as Nitori got, but she never had a really high point. If she had gotten a win somewhere along the way, she probably would have been on for the title. Nitori got 2, which is the first time that that's happened in the Challenge Series so far. Maki ends up stealing 3rd with her aggression in the final 2 corners at 77, only 1 off of Kotori. If she had actually caused her to lose 2nd place to Honoka, she would have taken 2nd place from her in points. Thrasher, 4th with 75, could easily have had that championship if Fuji didn't happen. Or rather, if he had sports tires or intermediates for Fuji, he would have probably easily had the championship because he only scored 2 points there. Honoka had a pretty quiet but efficient season here. Run, not a season. It's only 5 races. 72 points, but never finished outside the top 10. The only driver to achieve that feat. Nico, a long ways back from Honoka's 72, 61, 6th place. Zhou Jingwei at 60, Axel Valentine. Axel Valentine at 59, Reiko Mishima at 57, Tai McIntosh 54, Kyozo Katano 51, Nozomi Tojo at 50, Emi Ibarazaki at 46, Kazuma Hanamura 39, tied with Haneo for 14th. Kogasa also at 39. So 3-way tie for 14th. If we're going to be technical about it, since Kogasa got 16 points in 1 race, so she got 5th place. That's something that neither Haneo nor Kazuma did. She would probably end up with 14th on merit. That's literally the only tie in the point standings. Umi, 36, Reen, 30, Ellie, 27. Gina finishes last in points with 23. Never finished in the top 10. The only driver that never did. And that about does it for Clubman Cup Plus. Next time around, it will be like this again. It'll be the 675 cars this time around. We don't actually have a name for it yet. We'll have to think about that within the next week. That's kind of awkward. We knew what the championship would be. We didn't know what to call it. But until then, yeet.